If I can just say that is happening in this neighborhood, so y'all really better be careful because y'all can get y'all families put out. Seriously.
Now, in that case, families that don't advocate or support anything that their family members are doing,
Right.
what should that family member do? Because I don't want to be put out because my son is cutting up and I can't control him 24 hours a day and he has, I'm not advocating that. So what should I do as a person in the household so it won't come against me? What would a person
It is
do?
very, very difficult for you to
dispute it.
Yeah, to get out to, I want to say, advocate responsibility for it. Like you can't say, well, I didn't know about it or I don't condone it. And so you would have to contact housing rights lawyers to help you.
Okay.
One thing that we're encouraging everybody to do about everything is to document it.
Okay.
So that you begin to have a paper trail. But this is a very strict policy.
One of the things I've seen them do is
You call the police?
kind of disown.
That might
The
get you.
children
That might be
almost.
evidence. Yeah.
It's like disowning whoever's in the household. You really
Okay.
have to just give them the boot. Be like, you can't come through here.
But what I'm saying is, say if you did literally give them the boot, but they're still hanging around the area.
Well, it's just I guess that goes to the documentation saying that he doesn't live here. Or
Okay,
anything.
well,
But you've done your part.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, you would definitely have a better chance.
Right.
Okay.
So one of the questions we've been asking is, whether or not the gang injunction has helped the community or hurt the community, right? And that's kind of an ongoing question that we've been asking. We're also been trying to identify people who are on the list and to help them get off the list. And not just to get their name off the list, but to get them hooked up with resources, right? And to, as Pastor Eric says, to meet their individual needs in a way that helps them to move in a direction, right? That doesn't make them so vulnerable to the whims of the local law enforcement. And then, the other question, and I know that, we just celebrated Black Family Day on Saturday, and I took a lot of great pictures.
What's that? What's Black Family Day?
But this,
I did not celebrate that.
you will. Right? So the question
We'll have another one.
That's part of the problem.
That's part of the problem.
We'll have another one.
That was good, but
So this question.
You're safe there.
Right? How can we change the image of the Western Addition in young people? Because again, I can't emphasize enough how important it is to take some control of how you are represented publicly, right? And you can't control every piece of it, but the people in the city have a sense of what young people from the Western Addition are like, right? And so when these policies come down, they say, well, you can't do anything else, so you need these policies. I mean, people who live here may say the same thing, right? And so how, and I know this group is part of that, how can you get young people doing, something that highlights their assets, or highlights the positive things that they're doing, so it's not so easy to allow these sorts of policies to come down. And I wanted to and this is just 3 minutes and then I'll be done, so I wanted to talk about 2 new pieces of legislation that are coming down, right? Again, in response, right, to this public image that the state, a large segment of the state has about Black and brown communities in general. All right, so Prop 6, which has this deceptive title, the Safe Neighborhoods Act, right? So they want to say, oh, that's nice. Who doesn't want to vote for safe neighborhoods, right? But it's really a very harsh policy. And one of the things that it does is it increases sentences for nonviolent offenses, right? And what that has the effect of doing is that means more people will get sentences, will get prison sentences, right? And then the Prop 6 also increases the amount of time that people spend in prison. And that's why we have prison overcrowding now, right? So we started arresting and sentencing more people, and then we've kept them in there longer, right? And that's what Prop 6 will continue to do. It'll take all the money from youth services and mental health services and give it to probation, right? And so my understanding of probation is that they have their hands full, so to speak, just with the job that they have right now. It's not necessarily the best idea to give them responsibility for providing services, especially for young people. And then it makes this change so that teenagers as young as 14 can be targeted for adult incarceration. So here we were talking about, well, if you're a juvenile, you almost kind of have like a pass until you're 18 because it's still your records. Well, it doesn't even matter, right? Because if you're 14 and this legislation is passed, you commit a crime, a felony, you can be targeted for adult incarceration. Okay. And that's the one piece, right? And then that goes with Prop 9. So now you're locked up.
So that
right?
takes the 850?
You will be beyond 850.
That's where you'll start.
850.
It'll all start at 850.
They said you will be charged as an adult, and if you are sentenced to prison, you are going to the penitentiary.
14.
That's what this saying. That's why you need to vote, because you're old enough to vote. And so you need to vote no against this.
That's
right.
Twine,
But isn't that like
you need to register to vote for real.
a young teenager in danger, like 14 years old in the penitentiary?
Right,
Yeah, that
but
would
they-
be nice.
right, yes.
Believe me.
Yeah.
And they probably won't care because if you're on the street being dangerous and handling guns, they're not. I mean, what's the
That's the
difference?
thing. If they have this image of what it means to be a 14-year-old, they already think a 14-year-old is almost is acting in a certain way, so they don't have any sympathy for young youth of color.
Name it, Derek.
It's that old saying, don't do the crime if you can't do
Do
the time.
Hey, are y'all listening?
And then the combination, the thing that makes it really hard. So now someone, they go to 850, they go to state penitentiary, right? They're in there for a long time, in there for 20 years. They're like, all right, my parole date's about to come up. I'm probably gonna get out. Go up for parole. Prop 9 changes up how you're paroled, right? It decreases the likelihood of that people will get parole. And that if you're denied parole, it increases the amount of time before your next parole date. So if you are doing 20 years, you come up for parole, you can be denied and not come up for another 15 years. Wow. So on that 20 years, it goes to 35 years, right? And so the idea, the folks who are behind this want to see law enforcement grow as an industry. And it already has over the last 20, 30 years. So they want all the money to go in there, and if they have all the money there, they want bodies in the cells, right? And this legislation is designed to put more bodies in the cell. These sorts of changes happened in the late 80s and early 90s, and they have put more bodies in the cell, right? More brown bodies in the cell.
Does this change the way you're sentenced? You know how like if you go to trial, you take it all the way to trial and you lose, and you can get the maximum sentence. Does this change the way you're sentenced? Like before you go to trial, can you be sentenced to the maximum?
Well, I don't know the specific answer to that question, but I think you're asking about mandatory minimums.
Yeah.
Right. So this increases. More crimes are now open to mandatory sentencing. Yeah. So that's it. So you guys had a lot of great questions during this.
So you guys, y'all get that? Any questions? Dantes, questions? Dre, questions?
You like some real wire stuff. You like the wire.
You said just like the
I'll
wire.
tell you what they did was, I think it was like 99 when they raided everything over here. They actually had the police sitting over there in the foot clinic. It was a foot clinic taking pictures and everything. I mean, we didn't know it, but they was taking pictures. They was doing a whole lot of stuff, and once they raided everything, they put all of us, it was called Operation Ceasefire. That's when the feds first started getting involved with the local police. So now they call it the gang injunction, and what else is it? The check-in, or what is it called? The call-in, type of thing. Whereas if you're on probation or parole, you got to check in and receive all these services or whatever. But they've been using these little things, to just come up with new laws. Like that Operation Ceasefire, I don't know whatever happened to it, but I'm sure that it's still around doing something. They just call it something else, but they keep trying to come up with these new laws, and they're going to keep doing it. And you can see right now with all the highlight on the presidency, they slipped this one in. Ain't nobody talking about this here. Ain't nobody talking about this. You know, it's a bunch of people out here, little, you know, advocates and things that are trying to get people to vote no on it, but they will slip it in. You know, hopefully it don't pass, but, you know.
The likelihood of that is what?
That's
Like Nikki said, they put the safe neighborhood.
Right.
Right,
So
so
when
that's
somebody
what
see
decide. They, right.
It's like, oh, I want a safe neighborhood. Just
Right.
don't look at
And
us
so-
all on my
And then, you know, there's not a huge black population in California. So I think it's gonna pass.
It's
I
not
hate
what?
to sound negative. It's not a huge black population in California.
They
So
want everybody.
other races are gonna vote for this. They really, really are.
This don't go for Mexicans.
Well, there is a movement.
Yeah.
There is a movement that is going against it. I heard even Mayor Gavin Newsom is against
really?
it. You know, so there is a little movement.
I haven't heard though. I mean, I haven't seen him on TV.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Well, he's not going
Word.
to. He's not going to come out and say exactly. Only on some issues.
Okay.
This is not big enough for him to go against on TV and nothing. You know.
That's sick though.
But to tell y'all really that, you know, y'all been thinking them brothers down the street is your enemies, man. They ain't your enemies.
That's what I was saying. Not the
Them
real
brothers,
enemies.
they not your enemies
Not the real ones, anyway.
at all. I mean, I know y'all got your little beef going on, but man, seriously,
And for what though?
they
Because I live
going through the
here
same
and they
thing.
live there.
They going through the same thing. If Daryl's leading the truck from coming up here, he go down there in that truck down there and do the same thing he doing up here. Running in folks' houses and stuff like that down there. He running in folks' houses up here. He doing the same thing. Down there talking, he was actually knocking on doors and them telling them that they done lost too many soldiers. They need to do something about that.
Wow.
So they advocate for them to come up here, even though y'all ain't done that down there, but they advocating that they done lost too many soldiers. So they need to take out some.
Wow.
Because they want y'all to kill each other, so they don't have to worry about y'all.
Wait, what did he say? What happened? They want us to shoot at each other.
No, they want them to shoot us because they lost too many soldiers.
So they basically are
Setting
instigating.
y'all up.
Oh, so the police was telling them to come up here?
Huh?
Police was telling them to come up here?
Not just come up here in general, they was just talking about they lost too many soldiers and they need to do something about it. Whether it's up here, whether it's
Oh, so they were angry.
whatever. Huh? 'Cause I'm doing the same thing down there with them. I'm telling them about the gang injunction.
Good, good.
Where at Eddie Rock?
Yeah. Y'all all in the same boat. I gotta go up here to Chopper City and tell them.
That's good.
Y'all all getting wrapped up at the same
And
time.
y'all don't even know it.
And then when y'all get to the pen, you ain't gonna know it, but when you get to the pen, you
You
gonna
gonna
wanna be
know.
associated.
Yeah, y'all gonna be
When
friends.
you go to LA somewhere, if y'all meet up in the pen, y'all gonna be
Susanville.
partners.
Y'all gonna be
Absolutely.
415.
Y'all gonna be partners.
Absolutely.
Bullshit.
Y'all gonna want to be clicked up
Because it's not gonna be y'all against each other. It's gonna be y'all against
against the other
the
culture.
Hispanics actually, and
The
they are
Caucasians.
huge. And it was just a riot. I know somebody in the pen, and it was just a riot where the Mexicans tracked him. Seriously, tracked him, and I was tracked the black folks.
An inmate, another
This
inmate.
happened in Soledad. This was probably in about May. The Mexicans tracked him, and I need to understand. They did. Yeah, I'm to understand people got carried up out of there. I did not hear anybody die, but I was to understand. Basically, the blacks. It was a surprise attack, and a few people got stabbed, stomped, whatever.
All the Mexicans was on all the blacks.
Yes. So I heard it was like 3 to 1.
guards
I'm-
did it too?
No, I'm not understanding the guards ran. How about that? How about that? They cleared themselves out of safety, let them animals go at it,
Cause that's how they.
and when they were able to then come in and throw tear gas or whatever it is they do,
Yeah, I was about to
shoot
say
them
that.
wooden pellets. That's how they were able to get it under control. But they first are concerned about their safety. So yeah, I'm gonna let these animals, what they call you guys niggas and spits. I'm gonna let y'all kill each other. I'm gonna get out the way and become safe. And then when I get my reinforcements and we can take it back over, then that's what we gonna do. But it was, that's what they call them. That's the racial slur for Mexicans. Hispanic, yeah.
In there they call Nathaniel, Serenios.
Well, that's they
Border
gang
Brothers.
name.
Right.
No,
Right,
They're
okay.
racist.
I thought Black and Brown relationship was good.
nah, not in prison. That's where, and I mean in LA. I mean here we don't beef, but I mean in LA on the street, black and brown fight. But that come from out the prison. That's not up here. We don't have that in Northern California, but that is actually true in Los Angeles, where you can get shot just because you black. A 13-year-old girl was murdered just because she was black.
By a Mexican?
Yes. Her mother had moved into a Hispanic neighborhood, not even knowing. No, but I wouldn't have knew that. And I don't feel like somebody could tell me where I can and can't live. I pay taxes, and I've been paying
And you won't know.
And
There's
that's
no way
the
of
thing.
knowing.
I mean, it's a lady that these not people that grew up probably in the hood. This is a woman taking care of her 13-year-old daughter. It's not even like she got a son. That they shot that girl all because she was black. 13 years old. How many times? I don't know.
Enough where she was dead.
That's all I was gonna say. She got killed.
But that's the thing, y'all beefing now, but in jail, y'all will be the underdogs. There will be more Hispanics than y'all. I'm to understand it was 3 against 1.
That's why it makes it so easy for them to do what they do. Because by you guys are fighting each other, different sets, the whole group of Mexicans are mobilizing and whooping all of you.
And while y'all laughing, y'all just did see it said 14, so that could be you, 16 years old now in the pen. So keep on laughing.
And I just, at the barbecue at, Martinez and I was talking to, I don't know if all y'all know Dale, but his state uncles and stuff, but he told me he was actually in the pen when they had the fight between Mexicans and the brothers, and brothers ran.
Again, it's more.
But the numbers don't match up no more. Ain't no more sticking together with the brothers.
They couldn't come together, so
Yeah.
it was like they were split up, so everybody got
So all the Mexicans be together and all the black people would be different groups of the black people.
I mean, it's different just group theories. You got the Aryan.
They got the circle. But the ones that are together,
they click up.
Yeah.
When they click up, they click up.
Let me tell y'all.
It's called the Mexican Mafia.
First and foremost, African Americans is the most divided culture, whether you're in prison
that's right.
or out of prison.
That's right.
You can tell that. Y'all can, excuse me. So, other nationalities, I mean, they have their issues too, but they seem to unite better than the African American culture. So, whether you in prison or out of prison, you guys, black people, we've never really come together strongly and united. We always have division because we hating on each other, we jealous of one another, and and it stems from wherever. So just so you know, other cultures get together and unite, and they have a better, they're more successful in that area.
So the people that want to kill each other get with each other in jail?
Well, when you go to jail, you have to pick a side. You have to join a gang. Because if you don't, you're pretty much on your own. And blacks stick together. You got different Hispanic groups, northern Hispanics and the southern Hispanics.
That's what I'm saying, like,
those are different, but still, I mean, they still deep. Northern is very deep. Northern Hispanics is the biggest prison gang. They bigger than the black gangs. They bigger than the Aryan nation. So, and northern and southern, they beef too. They beef with each other too. But the point is, you also hear just a lot of riots about the northerns attacking the blacks. You do. You really do. And it's been going on for a while. This hasn't just started. This has been going on probably for the past 10 years or so. So
They stick together. They stick together. Like if if somebody was in OC was in jail and one of y'all was in jail, y'all wouldn't do it. Y'all wouldn't stick together. But they gonna come together.
I gave you the number. You're supposed to call them so they can
Well,
see
no,
the
I thought
package.
you told me they said that. Well, maybe you did tell me.
We'll talk.
Okay.
Because I mean, he's actually going, which I had already signed him up prior to starting his group. Yeah, you're going to San Quentin.
There's a bunch of
I don't know why you laughing, because you going to now. Yes, you are. So you should laugh.
We need to take them off.
Yeah, they are, but I'm just saying I had already did this prior to us.
Definitely not.
Halloween. Instead of hanging out here, we go out there.
Western edition.
Oh, really? Okay.
When?
On Halloween.
You already got it?
Yeah. They just
So-
told me today.
What?
So we need to ask
Go
the
up there
names?
to,
What's on my way?
What's
We
San
playing
Quentin?
Western Edition trying to make us be like the inmates.
No, the inmates are gonna talk to you and encourage you and let you know what life is like in the inside because you don't know.
What they walk
How
you
do
through?
I gotta get the information. He just asked me
Why
if
they
I want
locked
to
up?
take some people. I said, yeah.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So they walk you through why it's like.
Not an inmate, a CO will probably walk with you and take you to different cells of inmates to let you meet inmates that are doing long-term stretches.
Yeah, inmates
In
actually
gangs
run
and
the
stuff.
program.
Yeah, I know. I've been an inmate. Yeah, I did Susanville, San Quentin too. No, I didn't.
Take you to the sickness.
Yeah, I did Susanville and San
Take you
Quentin.
to the lifers.
They'll know, but they'll take you to the sick ones over
Yes,
there,
they
the
do.
notorious ones over
They
there.
can touch you and
What does that
everything.
mean?
They can touch you.
Don't matter. The notorious ones got more time.
Death row.
So who you really want to meet?
So what if you
Well,
go there and
they
it's
know
a
about
riot?
All you gotta do is write your
Oh, if
brother.
you're right,
You got a brother sitting up doing life right
a
now.
waiver, a disclaimer, like if anything was to happen to you, they physically
Oh, they
touch
know
you.
something's going
It's real. I just had
Why would you want your kid to go there?
Tanisha just brought her son from there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she
Okay.
said it's
Why
real.
would you want your kid to go there if it's a risk?
If your kid is outside on the streets and not doing positive things, you need to see it.
So we're trying to prevent you from going down that road so you don't have to end up like them, because if they could have a second chance and get out, they would.
So you can get an idea of the bedding and stuff they got for
Been
you.
there since he was
Yeah.
18
They
for
gonna let that
murder, and it's been there for 20 years. So we hoping that, you know, that will sink into y'all heads and y'all say, I don't want that.
It's not to scare you all, it's to educate y'all, to let y'all know. I mean, this is just not, it's not really all that cool. It's really not all that cool, and I'm to understand only 5% of inmates get regular visits. And like I told y'all, I done been up to the pen, I done visit people in the pen. Only people that come is mamas and girlfriends, wives, whatever your partner is.
Significant others.
That's the only people that come.
barely too.
Yeah, I mean, some girls you do that come every weekend for whatever reason. I guess it depends on the kind of woman she is. Cause
Right.
I mean, if you gonna run up there every weekend, but somebody like me, I got a life, and I'm not running up to the pen every weekend and seeing nobody. So I'm not saying I'm not never gonna come, but it's not gonna be no every weekend, no Saturday and no Sunday. So I'm just saying, y'all gotta know about all that.
Didn't y'all roll Floyd the letter?
Nope.
Yeah. Anybody wrote the letter?
Get out next year.
Falls got a few years.
Yeah, I think I looked him up.
7. They gave him
I
7.
looked him up. I looked in Federal, you can look up on the computer. In Federal, you do all your.
He got 7.
Get out like next year at August.
I'll look it up tomorrow.
Floyd?
Yes.
This guy
Is
is
Gary
there,
still
so look it up
in
now.
Huh?
Is Gary still
Yeah.
They finna stand down.
He's going to the halfway house. Just where Killer's at, right down there. Ain't none of y'all went down there and seen him either.
But that's the funny thing too. Y'all think everybody, I know y'all.
Mine, no. You only do half of the time they give you.
No, ain't no more half.
Everybody-
Half stopped when I got out of prison. And I'm almost 50 years old. Half stopped when I got out of prison.
Halftime I thought was for non-violent offenders.
Halftime is no more.
State. I
And that's state time. Halftime is no more. They stopped that when I got out.
They got programs.
Ain't no halftime. You do 1/3.
Okay.
You do 1/3 of your time now. There is no more halftime.
They don't got programs.
If he do get out, he won't be totally released.
I don't know.
Because they're not done with him.
I'll look it
Believe
up,
that.
'cause I remember.
Yeah, that's why it's called halfway house, because you only halfway out. You can do certain stuff like probably go to the doctor or something.
You know, halfway house, usually most inmates don't want to go there because it's a setup. Because when you get there, you can leave. You can do all the stuff you want to do and you mess around and mess up. And then you go back and then you have to do your time and then you don't get no options.
Yeah, and if that's what's important to you, if y'all would rather.
So sometimes the halfway house is a
Me,
trap.
Watina, I don't understand why men would want to be in jail with a bunch of men. That's a little
Give
suspect.
y'all booty spots.
Me. That's just how I look at
Just
it.
believe me, y'all think y'all better have somebody better than you.
I mean, especially going in there at 14, cause that's just
You got some
insane.
people that is just crazy.
I'm not
And they've been institutionalized for so long
They'll grab you up.
and they're in there for life. They don't have nothing to lose.
Also, with y'all, all this, y'all KO to the heart, and that's fine, whatever. My point is though, y'all better ask Silas, cause he was KO to heart too.
Exactly.
Y'all better ask him how many people from KO write him and come see him.
Ask Darrell. He right here. He living proof.
I mean,
This guy
besides,
did 10 years and didn't do the crime that they say he did. But that was just like wasted. Thank God he got out. Thank God he learned something through the negative situation. But he living proof to you right there. Guilty
So y'all
by
young, y'all what?
association.
16, 17?
And I
Just
don't
knock
think
off
I'm
20 more.
Silas been in for 15 years. I just seriously, who all from KO done had Silas back? So y'all better really find out who y'all real folks are. I'm telling you, when you go to jail, out of sight, out of mind, it's so true.
Life goes on.
It really do.
But though, I ain't even gonna lie, if it was possible for me to go see somebody in jail that I could, I would.
You ain't gonna go all the time.
Not all the time, but I go. People be like, people don't go at all. I go. I was like once or twice, maybe every 2 months or something.
Every 2 months?
I'm just saying though, at least I go.
It's a process.
How often would you want someone to come and visit you if you were there?
I'm not going to jail.
How often would you want someone to visit?
I wouldn't want nobody to see me in jail, so I wouldn't want
Really?
nobody to come visit me.
Because you don't want to
Okay.
go, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And I actually have a cousin that's been in there for a very long time. He's actually gone crazy from being in jail. This is my mother's brother's son, so this is my first cousin. He's gone crazy, and he hates us all because, you know, we didn't come visit or support or whatever, and so he basically feels, you know, bitter. Yeah, he's bitter.
angry.
He's angry towards us because he feels like we owe him something. Although I didn't benefit off his crime. I wasn't even with him when he committed it.
Exactly.
What do you do?
We were, I think it was like robbery or something. I don't even know. This was like when I was
When he was
20.
18.
This was about,
So I
yeah,
never
13 years.
Hold up.
I mean, but I had a life. First of all, he was in jail when I was about 20. You have to keep in mind, I was a 16-year-old mother. I wasn't worried about somebody in jail. I was taking care of my son. My son's father had died around that same time. Me going down to see somebody in jail was very unimportant to me. And then life just go on. I mean, this wasn't like somebody I was real close with. You know, I
But the
did
thing
use
about
some items
it
and
is,
stuff.
was she really trying to bring to share with you guys is whether, like she said, it's probably mothers, significant others that visit people. But even in that, if you out there doing whatever that's gonna bring you to jail, that's the element when you go to jail. It ain't about, oh yeah, that's what it's about being in jail. You not gonna probably get no visits. That's not my job to come visit you
Right.
because you done did something and you probably how many times have you been told change your life, do something? That's not my job to come visit you. Now if I have compassion and enough love for you, maybe so. But that's the element when you go to jail. You don't get visits. It's not like you don't live anymore. You don't have that advantage anymore. You threw that out the window when you decided to do whatever you did and put yourself in there. You throw that out the window. When you say, I'm going to stick to doing crime or doing something to get you locked up, that's what you're saying. Even though you ain't in prison yet. You saying, okay, if I go to jail, it's possible none of my family members is going to visit me. It's possible that I'm going to lose my girlfriend. It's possible I'm not going to get no letters. It's possible that I'm not going to get a box. I'm not going to get money. Because people don't have to do that. People get upset when people go to jail.
Especially somebody you feel like you have tried your best to help, you know. And then when you're in jail, you're just also forgotten. And also keep in mind, jail, you don't know where you're going to be sent. So that got a lot to do with visiting too.
You can be across country.
Yeah, and I mean, some people do with feds, they will sometimes send you out of state. If you California, you will be in California, but you can be all the way at the southern tip, or you can be all the way at the northern tip.
And Quentin is just a reception center, so you won't
Yeah.
stay there no more.
Unless you're on death row.
San Quentin is a reception center. They just send you out. You go there, they hold you, and then they send you to Susanville or somewhere else.
Mule Creek,
You won't stay there.
Ione.
Right.
That's what they send the people that to feds. I thought feds like it's, you know.
I mean, you go through state and all that stuff until they process you, and then you get on the Grey Goose and you ride
This is in
now.
North Carolina right now.
Who is?
Florida.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying about the feds. They send you out of state.
So what they like put them on the airplane?
They have buses. They have buses. that come to the jailhouses every Tuesday and Thursday, like, and pick people up. If it's necessary, they do it the cheapest way possible. They don't spend no money on it. You become state property.
And all the way in North Carolina.
Yeah. You can't even put a tattoo on yourself in jail, or you'll get more time. You'll get more time for that because that's destruction of state property. Because you are state property.
So what do we need to do to prevent this group right here?
From becoming state property.
Job. Give me a job or something.
The job ain't gonna stop nothing.
Why wouldn't it?
The job not gonna stop.
If you spend 8 hours on a job,
It's only gonna stop you for that time being. You finna go back to the same stuff.
go back to the same stuff. You mean after you get off your job, you're gonna come and hang?
After you get off work, you gonna do the same thing.
No, you
No,
don't.
I don't see everybody.
There's still gonna be people outside. You gonna be like,
Oh, people, yeah, but I don't see some individuals that's getting a good job, making some nice money, and making more money than what they do when they standing out. Because a lot of cats out here today ain't making no money.
No.
Keep it real. Ain't no money being made, brother. Ain't no money being made.
I'm just saying.
None. Cats just running, ducking, dodging, but ain't nobody making no bucks.
I had a city job.
Ain't no bucks being made.
The main thing I wanted to do was come to the block.
But see, that's the thing with what Dre was saying. The choice relies in you.
It's hard to
You
just.
gotta be changed. I mean, you, like, we doing all this here. We here to serve y'all and help y'all. We want the best for y'all. But you have to make that choice. So if you were to get a job, you gotta say, and discipline yourself and find ways to do that, to say, I'm not going back on the block because I don't want to go to jail. I don't want to be shot down. You have to say that because it doesn't matter what we put in front of you. If you don't decide to make the right choice, then it's not going to happen. So you can be working and still feel like what you working is not enough and still feel like, oh, I want to hang on the block and be with my friends. And then here you are working,